Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us here at Caribbean Week in Toronto. It is a pleasure for me to be here. Although in my role as CTO Chairman, it is the first time that I am here in Canada. It is not my first time to Canada by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I've been here many times, both on vacation and for work. And when I've come for work, Elaine has made sure that I've done just that. So thank you. I really want to start by expressing my appreciation on behalf of the 30 countries that make up the Caribbean Tourism Organization for you being here with us today. The media is such a critical element in our overall marketing strategy for the region. It is the stories that you write and the images that you portray that really help to bring the Caribbean to life. If I might say, I find that the writers here in Canada do an even more explicit job in telling the stories beyond the beach. All 365 of the beaches and counting, according to our NTO meeting yesterday. But you tell the stories of our people, our culture, the history, and all that makes up the Caribbean and makes it such a unique place for people to visit over and over again. And our Secretary General often says that if you visited a Caribbean island, you visited one Caribbean island. And I will tell you that we have such distinction between the islands that make it such a rich place to visit over and over again. So I thank you for your contributions to the most tourism-dependent place in the world, our region, the Caribbean. I also want to thank the staff of the CTO and the national tourism organizations that have representatives here in Canada that certainly do the work year-round to make sure that our presence as a region is front and center on a consistent basis. Thank you, Silma, Fernando, Johnson, for all of your work, and all of the NTOs that continue to work on our behalf. We appreciate it. I want to take a little time to talk about the marketplace position of the region from the Canadian perspective this morning. We are extremely pleased that we are seeing more visitors from Canada this first quarter. In fact, there have been 1.3 million visitors from Canada that traveled to the Caribbean between January and March of 2014. Total stayover visitors are up by 3.3% year-over-date, which is based on that same period for 2013. Canadian arrival growth is ahead of the U.S. by 1.3%. That's to say that your market is growing faster to the region than most other markets that are key for our region, and for that we thank you. We understand that there have been challenges with the economy, and we're really beginning to see that we're moving from that and that visitor arrivals are moving in an upward trend, and we think that that's positive for our region. About 15 of our countries, of our 30 member countries, are seeing significant growth from the Canadian market, to include my neighbors, the British Virgin Islands, the Dominican Republic, and Belize, that are leading the pack. Globally, the Caribbean is performing extremely good year over year, so we are pleased with that as a whole. And based on the current trends for 2014, we anticipate growth at about 3% year over year based on the 2013 numbers. As a former hotelier, I can tell you that governments, oftentimes we count bodies to the region, but my private sector background tends to make me count revenue as well. And that's one of the things that our CTO staff, the research department, has been able to work with Smith Travel, and they've quantified for us, and I think that that's an extremely important element, is that we're seeing that average daily rates and RevPAR to our region is up as well, and that's an extremely good indicator for the region in terms of people spending, both on their travel to our destinations, but while they're in our destination. We're also seeing cruise arrivals that have increased by 2.3% for the first quarter. That's just a quick snapshot of what we're seeing specifically from the Canadian market. Again, I'm open for your questions, but I want to end by thanking you again. It is indeed the images and the stories that you tell that help to keep the Caribbean such a robust place for this market. And so we want to express our appreciation on behalf of our member countries, but most importantly, on the millions of people within the Caribbean that are dependent on tourism for their livelihood. Thank you.